Amazon AutoSourcer, a Google sheet that automatically searches Amazon products and finds sources of those products and then helps you to perform profit calculations. Now, the first thing when you get a copy of this Google sheet is that you will need to make a copy. It's view only as it has been shared from another owner, which is me in this case. So you will have to go to File and make a copy, and that will create a copy on your own Google Drive. Once you've created a copy of the Google Sheet, you can actually close this original and just work with the copy. Now, as you're on the copy, what you can do is you can read some of these instructions. I have links for software as well if you need them, contact information, a video link. But mainly the first thing I want to do is set the sheet up. You will notice the buttons might be out of order. If you click the refresh button, that will usually, in fact, that will always put the buttons back in order, but you may have to click it twice in some cases. Now, the first thing is to actually get the sheet set up. And so if you click on a button, for instance, the system reset button, it will say run in script. However, a script is just a program that is attached to the Google Sheet, which you can see on extensions, app script. You have to provide authorization to run a script on your Google Sheet. So you will have to click continue on this process, select the account that you are using, and you click on advanced, and then you go to the program. Google is going to say it hasn't verified this app. Of course, many people write scripts on their Google Sheets for personal use, and of course Google doesn't have time to verify everyone's scripts. So there's nothing unusual about this, and the script is not unsafe. Just click on it, and you will then click on allow, and you will be able to use the script. So now that the sheet is set up, the next step is to get product data from Amazon. There are two choices. You can either go directly to Amazon, or you can use Keepa Data Product Finder, which will give you a lot more data. However, for this demo, I am going to use the free Amazon method, not using software, but instead using a free Chrome extension. And so what I will do is go into Amazon, and I normally would suggest that you search an actual brand, but you can also search for a category. It depends on what you're doing at that moment. I will use a brand that is familiar to many people, Mainstays, which is a brand from Walmart. And this is just an example. I'm not suggesting the brand. This is just for the tutorial. Now, once you get the product results, you will click on the Instant Data Scraper Chrome extension. And once you do that, it will pull up the products. Now, one thing you can do is you can click infinite scroll, and when it says locate next button, you can click on that. Don't click on anything else. Simply scroll down, because your next step is to click on the next button. Find the next button. If there is one at the bottom of the page, click on it, go back to Instant Data Scraper, click start crawling, and what it will do is go ahead and collect even more pages from those product results. And basically you want to get a large number of products to give you a higher chance, a higher probability of finding suitable and profitable products for your particular situation. In this case, I was able to scrape 338 rows, 7 pages. I will click on CSV, and that will download the results to a CSV file. At this point, I will return to the Amazon AutoSourcer, because it is now time to bring that data into the system. So to do that, I will go to IDS CSV, which is a sheet, and I will go to File, then click Import, Upload, select a file from your device, and then I will go to this PC. So you should navigate to your Downloads folder, and there you should find the file. Here's my file. I will go ahead and open it. And it's very important that we select Replace Current Sheet and then click on Import Data. It has to go on this sheet in order for it to be read into the system. What you will notice with the CSV is that the column headings will not make sense to you. These come from the HTML of the web page that we scanned And so in order to make sense of it, I have what is called a columns map, where it will connect these columns, URL, title, and price, with the columns from the CSV. Now, I do have a columns map set up. However, it is sometimes possible that these column headings can change in a CSV, and you will then need to update the columns map. Now, we do see that the titles, let's start with the titles, for instance. In fact, actually, I'll start with the URLs. The URLs are a-link-normal space href. If I look at the columns map for Amazon search, I will see the same thing, except I see a 2. However, there's also an a-link normal href 2, and I believe these are good links as well. So that's fine. Then I look at the titles, which is a size base, and if I look at the CSV, I see a-size-base for the titles. So those are the same, right? So basically, this is the column heading for the titles, a size base in the CSV. So on the map, it also needs to say under titles, a size base. And then for the prices, a off screen is on the columns map. So let me make sure on the CSV, the prices are also under a off screen. And if I scroll over, I will see a dash off screen, and there are the prices. Now, you don't necessarily have to check this each time. You can just go ahead and try to import the data, but if it does not work, if the data does not import, then you should check the columns map. And the other option is also to use copy and paste. Now, what I will do in this case is use the columns map. So I've gone back to the main sourcing sheet, and I have the Amazon search map already selected, and I will simply click on copy IDS data, and that will automatically copy the data right over from those Amazon columns. If for some reason you're unable to get this to work, if you have issues with the map, remember you always have the copy and paste option, where you could just simply highlight these titles, highlight these links, and highlight prices, and you could simply copy and paste them over to the sheet as well. Now that we do have the product data in the sheet, the next step is to go ahead and start finding sources of these products. Now, before I do that, let me explain the settings. You have, for one, the maximum number of sources per product. So you see that I have 3 columns set up. So you can have anywhere from 1 to 3 sources. Probably best just to leave it on 3. And you have what's called minimum match accuracy. You can actually put this on 0% most times. And then there's targeted search. If you only want to use a certain supplier, targeted search allows you to put certain suppliers on a list. For this demo right now, I'm just going to do a normal process of sourcing, and then I'll have additional content in other videos where I will go into other more details with these settings. So for right now, I would just do 3 sources per product, 0% minimum match accuracy, and right now I'm going to leave targeted search on no. Now I will click on source all products, and it should automatically try to find sources of these products, and it does it based on the titles. Now, it will of course take time for this process, as each title has to be searched on several search engines, and the results have to be combined, and the program has to go through those results. So I will come back when this process is finished. After you have been running the sourcing process for a while, you will eventually get an exceeded maximum execution time. This is Google Sheets basically stopping the script from running because it's been running for a long time. So you can just click on dismiss, and what you do is you click right on the last empty row, or the first empty row, and you go ahead and click on source all products, and it will continue from the row that you click on. So all you do is you go to that empty row, you click source all products, the process will continue. So I was able to get sources for all of the products from top to bottom. So if you use the control down button, you can can see the bottom product, row 343, and these are the last sources that I have. All right, it did not take very long, but I did take a break, and so I am back a couple hours later. Now, what I'm going to do at this point is show you how you can get price data. Now, of course, the most basic way is to manually open these links. And by the way, I should mention, now one might be tempted to go ahead and compare these links to see what matches and what does not match. However, this is actually a very long process to do, and so it is actually better to get your price data first, calculate profits, and then we'll gravitate towards the profitable items. So for now, let me show you how you can get prices. So you do have the manual option where you can actually open up a product and simply copy the price onto the sheet. So this product is $6.44, for instance, and I could literally type that price into the sheet, type in the shipping charge, if there's a shipping charge, so on and so forth. So that's option one. Option two is I have this get prices function. Now, I do, however, need to explain this is a custom function I created for Google Sheets, but it can only get prices from some suppliers for certain links. It cannot get prices for Walmart. Okay, so when you click get prices, if you have a Walmart link, and some of these are Walmart, it's going to say can't fetch, and some eBay links throw it off and cause it to stop as well. So then you'd have to continue from another cell. So it has a lot of limitations, but it can get prices for certain suppliers like Target and some other suppliers as well. So it really depends on the supplier. However, most of these links are from Walmart, and there are many possible suppliers out there. So the third option, which I think is the best option, and yes, it does involve using a software, but right now this software called SkuGrid is the best solution I know of, where it can get price, shipping, and it can get stock data from hundreds of suppliers. It works with a lot of different suppliers. The software is really designed for dropshippers, but I am not using it for dropshipping. In this case, I'm using it to get product data. So I'm not connecting to any marketplace. So let me show you the process for doing this. The first thing is we need to create a CSV of all of these sources, which we are going to upload into SkuGrid. So to do that, I have the mechanism here. You just click on Generate SkuGrid Import CSV. Let me show you the Sheet tab of SkuGrid Import CSV. It is an empty sheet. And let me explain this at the top. You do not disturb these two, last source read or total number of sources on sheet. Okay, these are internal. That's for the program to use. This is where you state how many sources you're going to put into the CSV. And a basic subscription of SkuGrid allows you, I'm going to show you a basic subscription, 200 items. Okay, as of today's date, it's $14.99 a month, $14.99 for 200 items. I'm going to go back here. And so that means you can pull in 200 at a time. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. So what I'm going to do is click on Generate SkuGrid Import CSV. I already put the number 200 here. And what this will do is it will go through and it will actually read all of these sources at once. And it will give me just the first 200 links. So I'm going to show you that SkuGrid Import CSV right now. And here we have the CSV. And if you go to the bottom, you'll see row 201. It is 200 products because we started on row 2. So it ends 201. All right. And so what I can do now is go ahead and download this by going to File, Download, comma separated values. That will put it in the form of a CSV. Once I do that, I will head over to SkuGrid and I will click on Import Export under My Items, and then I will click on Import CSV, choose CSV file, and then click on the file that I wish to import, click Open. That is the file that I just downloaded to a CSV. And at this point, it's just a matter of waiting for SkuGrid to pull the price, the shipping, and the stock data for those 200 product links. So you can see that SkuGrid was able to successfully import these products. These are the product links. You can see the titles. You can see the prices here, shipping and handling data, as well as stock status, whether it's in stock or out of stock. Red is out of stock, green is in stock. All right, now there are several pages of this product data that we can look at. And by the way, if you sign out and return to SkuGrid, or if you exit this particular page, you can go to Dashboard, My Items, and that will bring you to this particular screen that I'm on right now. And you can look at the different pages to see that these different products have been brought in. You might see some that say initializing. That could mean it's still pulling these in, but usually or oftentimes, if you open that link, you'll find that the listing has ended or something, or the product has been removed. And that is why it is still trying to initialize those links. So I'm satisfied to say that the links that are good, I believe SkuGrid has already pulled up the data for those links. So what I will do is go to Import Export, and I will export all of these products to a CSV. So Import Export, Export CSV, and that is going to send it to a CSV. Then I just have to click here to download the CSV, and here's the CSV, which is named after the username for the SkuGrid account. So now I will return to SkuGrid, and I will go to the SkuGrid Export CSV, and I will bring that CSV in here with File, Import, Upload, select a file from your device, and as usual, I'll go to my Downloads folder, and here's the file, Teach Amazon Dropshipping in this case, which was the original username that I used when I first started. And select Replace Current Sheet and click on Import Data, and that will bring in all of this different product data, okay, from SkuGrid into the sheet. So you see all the stock, the prices, the shipping. All right, and now I will return to the sourcing sheet, and all I need to do to get this data in here is click on this button, Get SkuGrid Data, and it will use what is called a VLOOKUP function. It will automatically build that formula for you to get the price, the shipping, and all of the stock data into the sheet. Now this tells us the total number of sources on the sheet, and this is for the program to know what was the last source read. So one thing I can do is I can go ahead and generate another CSV. So what I would do is clear, remember I have the SkuGrid Import CSV here. So what I will do is clear that one off. I already uploaded that one. And what happens is when I click generate again, it will continue from where it left off. So it will build another CSV, but it will start from the last source it left off. You don't have to know what source that is. It's already stored on the sheet, and the sheet will read that and figure that out. So now I'm going to go to SkuGrid Import CSV. All right, and we should have a different set of items. So we should have another 200. Remember that in total there are 743 sources on the sheet. So if you're only doing 200 at a time, you will need to do about 4 uploads to get all of the products in. Right? Now I'm just going to do this one because I want you to see the process. I won't do all 3 or 4 in this video uploads, but I will do a second upload for you. So let's go to SkuGrid Import CSV. This is the new CSV I just generated, and I will go ahead and download the CSV to a CSV, and then just like before, I will go over to SkuGrid. Now what we have to do here, since I can only do 200 at a time, is I have to delete these. So I'm actually going to go to Batch Options, Removing Items, and delete all of these items from SkuGrid. I have to delete all 200. So now I can import CSV to CSV another 200 items. So here's the one that I just downloaded. more recently. I'm going to go ahead and open that. So that's now another, so that's the next 200. Now, sometimes when you are uploading products to SkuGrid, it might freeze, or the page might just go off, but the products still get uploaded. So what you will do is just close that window, come back, go to SkuGrid.com, click on Dashboard, go to My Items, and you will see your items. All right, so it's always a good idea to take a look. And I do see that Walmart link. I see another Walmart link here. All right, so I do see a number of product links here. I'm going to go to page 2, see how page 2 looks. Looks like I have more actual products showing up on page 2. And this might, yeah, okay. Right, and I mean, you don't necessarily have to go through each page and look at it, but just kind of gives me a general idea that of the number of products that were uploaded. Remember that some links may not actually be good, even though they are pulled up, because it's, well, some links might not be good, but many links are, as you can see. If they weren't good, they would not have product data and product pictures. So after I finish exporting the CSV and downloading it, I will return to the system and I will find the SkuGrid Export CSV sheet as before. However, this time I already have data here from the first export. I will actually leave this data here. I will not even delete it because I can still get the product data from here and extract it into the sheet, right? I still need to do that. So what I will do is I will go to File, Import as usual, Upload, select a file, and I will go ahead and select this other new download, which was downloaded 10 minutes later, and select Open. However, this time I will not do Replace Current Sheet the way I would normally do it. Instead, I'm going to append to current sheet, which means add this data that I just downloaded to the sheet, and then import data. So when I do that, I would expect to see, as you can see, where this new sheet of data starts. Right? So you can see this is the second sheet. It has added that data sheet to this data sheet. So now I have two data sheets, okay? And one, so that now when I click Get SkuGrid Data, it can get the data for both sheets at once. So actually what you can do is you can do all of your uploading at once. So you can actually keep generating separate SkuGrid CSVs, import CSVs, right? 200 at a time. You can upload them to SkuGrid, download them from SkuGrid, all right, delete all the SkuGrid items, and you can do that until you've done all of the items, and you can just keep importing, keep appending all of the export CSVs into the export CSV sheet, right? And then once you're done with that, you can just click Get SkuGrid Data, and it will currently get SkuGrid Data. It will apply formulas to the whole sheet, and that is why I have to append the data, because it's going to be looking for the data for all of the links on the sheet, right? So now I know this might be a bit complex if you're not accustomed to doing this type of work with CSVs and imports and exports, and then specifically using it with this system. But just rerun the video and kind of try to understand the steps, repeat the steps to understand how this is done. But basically what you're doing is you're creating import CSVs for SkuGrid, and you're uploading them into SkuGrid, and you're doing that repeatedly until you've done all the sources on the sheet. All right, this lets me know that this is the number of imports I've done so far. So 548. Right, so in fact, I can clear SkuGrid import again. Import, don't mix it up. Import. And I can actually generate another SkuGrid Import CSV again. And this will be the third group of 200 sources. So that's 200, 200, 200 for a total of 600. Right? Now this number will be more than 600 because you have to realize that there are also blank spaces. So that pushes it down. Okay, those empty spaces. So it's 200 links, but then when you add all the spaces in between them, all of these spaces, it's why you get a much larger number. So that's 820 cells is what it's really saying, not links, right? So this 820 cells have been read so far. So now that I have set up all of my price data and I've set up my fees, my tax, and all of that, what I will do is generate a products list by clicking on generate products list. And this is going to make it a lot easier. What it's going to do is go through all of the sources, and it's going to take each Amazon line of data from Amazon and separate each source and put it next to each product. So let me show you what's actually happening. Let's go over to products list. You can see that it is building the list. So what it is doing, it's taking each Amazon product, and you're going to see them repeated because remember, some have two sources. If they have two sources, it's going to list the product 2 times with each different source. And this is going to make it easier to navigate. When you're on the main sheet, it is a bit difficult that you have 3 sources, 3 prices, 3 shipping, 3 stock to look at. Costs, everything. It's a little bit, it could be a bit difficult to navigate, a little confusing. With this, it's going to put everything on one line, each source separate with the product, so you can really just check each one individually. And so it's just a matter of waiting for it to finish building out this list. And then I'll show you how we will filter and go through the list. Now, depending on the number of sources in the sheet, you may find that the script exceeds the maximum execution time, and so the script might stop. Okay, it's the same as with the auto sourcing. You can just dismiss this, but the good thing is that when you go back to the sourcing sheet, it has been recording and keeping track of where it left off. So as long as you don't disturb this, you're good. All you have to do is click on generate products list again, and it will continue right from where it left off, from that row where it left off, row 150, and it will just continue. And this is the last row that it generated on the product list sheet, which was in the 300s, which is where we are right now. So it knows where it left off. So basically it knows where it read from here, the last product it read or picked up, and it also knows the last place that it wrote down a product on this products list sheet. So when it stops, it's okay. You just click the button and it restarts and it continues from where it left off. So basically this serves as like memory for the program. So that's why I say don't disturb any of this. All right, that's there for a reason while it's running. Okay, and that is pretty much it. Also, don't press this button because this will reset all of that. Okay, so don't press that button either. That's for when you're completely starting a new file or something, or starting the list over for whatever reason. So at this point, we will just wait for the list to finish generating, and then I'll show you what to do from there. So as it is approaching the end, I will know it based on the source row. It's a good idea to remember how many source rows you have. This is row 343 at the bottom. So I see that this is up to, and it has now passed row 343. Now it's telling me it's up to row 348. So when I go back to the products list, I should see that has finished creating the list. It's going to keep going. It doesn't know the list is over. So I can just cancel that script so it doesn't just keep running. Alright, so I just cancel that script. So now I have this complete products list of all the different Amazon products and the sources that go with them. So again, if a product has 2 sources, you'll see the product on Amazon 2 times with the 2 different sources next to it on 2 different lines. So what I'm going to do now is show you how we're going to filter this so that we can kind of gravitate towards the products that give us the best chance of what we're looking for. And then we're going to actually have to verify if those products are a match and if they're actually profitable.